Hello, everyone, and welcome to a quick episode of Trek Canon. So, I guess you could kind of call it one of my bootleg episodes, but it was such a beautiful day. I wanted to come out and do the video here so you guys could hear the birds chirping and interrupting everything I got to say. But this video, I wanted to talk about the importance of what we seen during the last episode of Star Trek Picard, entitled, I believe, Bounty. Now, this is the thing. They went aboard the Daystrom Institute space station and they came across two important pieces of information. We found out two important pieces of information during that episode. One, that the Daystrom Institute is harboring the remains of Captain James T. Kirk, and that the founders faction has stolen the remains of Captain Jean-Luc Picard. What they want with these remains? What would they want with the remains of these two individuals? One being the legendary Captain James T. Kirk, and the other one being Captain Jean-Luc Picard. So let's talk a little bit about what we can hypothesize based on canon, what the importance of these things signify. Now, we can't really get into what these remains signify and why they will have them without going over quickly who these individuals are. First, we'll start with Jean-Luc Picard. Jean-Luc Picard, of course, is a captain, Federation Starship Enterprise flagship, all right, NCC 1701D, all right, E and D and E. Yeah, now, here's the thing. If you think about the Borg, all right, if you think about the people who have was assimilated by the Borg, you have very few categories of people that fall into the aftermath of that. Of course, you have drones, which is what pretty much everybody becomes when they are assimilated into the Borg. All right. You can have what I like to call specifics. All right. Specifics are people like Seven of Nine. She was made specifically to interact with the crew of Voyager. I mean, with the crew of Voyager for the means of destroying species A472. All right. And now you have people who were released from the Borg or saved from the Borg. All right, these people also include Seven. These people include Hugh. All right, these people also include Picard, but I'll get into that. But on a larger scale, these people would include people like Echeb and the kids, and on even bigger scale, the Confederacy. Now, the Confederation. Was it the Confederacy or the Confederation? Anyway, the Borg collective that Chakotay helped come back into existence. Now, now, it was established early on in canon that any drone that was disconnected from the collective would immediately self-destruct. They evolved this over the years and everything like that in Star Trek, to whereas people disconnected from the collective, or people that the Borg willfully disconnected from the collective, because you had those people as well, somehow they were able to survive. Now, here's the thing. You have two very unique types of Borg that fall outside either one of these two categories. All right. You, of course, have the Queen herself, all right, which is the combined intellect and being and soul, I guess you'll call it, of the collective. And you have Locutus. Locutus was specifically designed to be head of the Borg, all right, their assault on the Alpha Quadrant, okay? Locutus was a unique individual, even so much so that people who were disconnected from the collective even still recognize him as being Locutus. Now, we know that normal Borg nanites are on the black market and are highly valued in Star Trek lore, all right? But think of the type of nanites that the body of Picard has. And I know some people be like, but he don't have Borg implants. It don't matter. You cannot remove all Borg nanites from a person who was assimilated into the collective. This is one of the reasons that Icheb met his fate in the early season of Picard. So it could be that the importance of Jean-Luc Picard remains, all right, one of them being that he was a unique Borg. He's something like one from Star Trek Voyager. All right, he's on that type of level. Also, if you remember correctly, Picard was also exposed to a very unique spatial event, right? Um, that ribbon. All right, if you guys remember the ribbon where he met Picard, where he met Captain James T. Kirk in, he was exposed to that ribbon, and we know that people who leave the ribbon are endowed with certain gifts. All right, where they could be multiple places at once. Think of Guinan and her connection with herself inside the rift. So, what does this mean? It could be that the founders are going to use maybe try to reanimate Locutus because he was so deadly against the Federation. At Wolf 359, for instance, he was one of the only people that was able to make it all the way to Sector 001 and orbit around Earth and almost put the entire Starfleet and the Federation on his knees. So this brings us to the remains of Captain James T. Kirk. First of all, let's not even discuss all of the things that Captain James T. Kirk himself was exposed to. The Great Barrier, the Inner Barrier. He was exposed to like just all kinds of things throughout the history of his run. He was one of the only people to be able to defeat a Gorn hand-to-hand combat. He was one of the only people, humans, to be able to fight a Klingon, which will become a Daha Master later, hand-to-hand and win. He fought Khan and genetically engineered human twice and defeated him, once hand-to-hand and the other time in a battle of wits. He was one of the only people who defeated um what what was it, the Kobayashi Maru. All right, he's mind melded with Spock, who's mind melded with Sarek. Like, look, Captain, he's time traveled, all right, several times. He's been to alternate mirror universes. Look, Kirk's body is something to be examined. Just like we have people like Einstein's brain kept in a glass somewhere, in a jar somewhere. Um, it's a feat of human not engineering, but feat of human potential without without engineering or some type of eugenics or anything like that. So the importance, and by the way, he was also in the ribbon. So having his remains, to where they can understand, hey, what made Kirk? What made him such a formidable individual, so legendary, not only in Starfleet history, but in Klingon history? So, which leads us to wonder, why did they choose Captain Picard's remains over the feats and everything that we know of Kirk, who was far greater than the feats of Picard? And again, I harken back to Picard was specifically engineered by the Borg to be one of the only, if not the only individual besides the Queen that had that level of access to the collective, all right, which gave him a distinction. He was a distinct entity in the Borg universe, in the Star Trek universe. So I wonder if they're going to be trying to do something like that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching and staying for this little video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And as always, peace, recycle, and say the whales. You guys leave some comments down there and let me know what you guys think. Be cool.
Leave me alone. You're cold, cold heart. You're cold.